Hello and welcome back to Killing Floor 2. So, today, which is Wednesday when I recorded this, the Christmas update dropped. And with that came a lot of stuff. First is the map Krampus Lair, which I'll be playing through in a moment. Then there are two new weapons. The Freeze Thrower, which is a survivalist weapon, and it essentially is just a flamethrower, but cold. It fires what I assume to be liquid nitrogen. It will slow down and freeze enemies if you hit them, and then if you shoot the ground, it'll slow enemies. But when I tried it, and I tried it multiple times, it doesn't really seem noticeable for a slow. So you're more likely, not really more likely, it's a better option to just play a firebug and be built for ground fires, since I believe you slow enemies with fire that way. Yeah, you do slow enemies with fire. So that's a lot more reliable of an option than the freeze thrower. But it is nice that we got that, since it was an Xbox exclusive for a while. And then our next weapon is the UMP-45, which is just in-game. It's the Heckler & Koch UMP, which I'm surprised they put the manufacturer's name in, instead of just making it like the UMP SMG or something. But we have that, which, in terms of the tiers for weapons, you know, for SWAT you start with the MP7, which is essentially tier 1, tier 2 is the MP5, tier 3 is the P90, and then tier 4 is the Chris SMG. And the UMP falls on that tier 3, so it's on the same level as the P90, but it's the highest damage SMG out of all of them in the game currently. It has a lower rate of fire and can only fire in full auto or burst, but that doesn't really seem to slow that weapon down or cause any issues. It pretty much makes it, the second you get it, you go to the end of the entire fight with it. And I'm gonna play as SWAT, so I'll be using that. Then we have a new boss, which is the Abomination, and for right now it's depicted as Krampus. The boss design is really interesting. I'll just go over it right now quick, and then I'll probably fight him in the map. But he's essentially, the short version is he's an advanced bloat. He uses a lot of bloat style attacks, and his design is very bloat-like, but he gets armor on his head, chest, and I believe feet, or it might be his back, I don't even know. But when you shoot it, you have to get through the armor to start dealing damage, and he can summon allies to help him almost constantly, and they're essentially walking bloat acid mines. It's a really cool design, and I actually really like it. Then we got a new in-game objective, which is Hold Your Ground, which currently is only in Krampus's lair, and you'll see a lot of that since it happens on pretty much every wave. Then there are new daily objectives and new cosmetics, both in the Dosh Vault and scattered throughout. And now going with the Krampus's lair and the whole Christmas event, all the enemies are reskinned, and we have seasonal challenges. Breaking the trinkets in Krampus's lair, killing a Zed using the wood chipper, completing a Stand Your Ground, finding 10 of the collectibles, which are snow globes, and then killing Krampus on harder, higher difficulty in Krampus's lair. Upon completing all of that, you get the pajama outfit. A nice set of flannel pajamas with a butt flap. I like it. I always love the holiday seasonal exclusive stuff. And with all that said and done, we will start up a little solo survival. And here's the first of the snow globes to shoot. And you never have to be worried about, like, oh, what if I miss a couple? There are so many in this map. It's not even funny. They're just all over, because it's like some of the newer maps, like The Descent and... I'm drawing a blank. It's like Descent, and there's another map, Nightmare, where it's... Man, I'm really just drawing blanks. You have to continually move down, but rather than every wave you move down in this, it's, depending on your length, every few turns, every few waves or so. So, it's not too bad. And I mean, all you have to do is bait a guy like I'm doing. Just grab a bloat, run around, and you can clear out everything. Another snow globe. And yeah, sorry if my voice sounds a little off, or if you catch me sniffling at all. I'm currently dealing with this cold, and it's just been real annoying. And here's the stuff that you have to shoot. All of Krampus's, like, knick-knack stuff. It takes a couple bullets for everything, which is kind of annoying, but... it's nothing too major. And that challenge is now completed. I think there's one... yeah, there should be one more snow globe within easy reach. Yep. It's already wave 1, you can pick up an easy 4 of them.
Perfect. Pod is open again. Let's get you restocked.
I've gotten a few of the new cosmetics from the Dosh Vault rewards, and a couple of them are precious, like knife skins. I think there's a lot of new weapon camos, I know that for a fact.
Glad you made it back. Don't bleed on anything.
Yeah, so oh, there's another one. The next challenge is the Saw of Blades. You have to get a Zed within this area. They can walk in through here, and then you have to activate this. But you hit it, sometimes it doesn't trigger instantly, or sometimes they'll walk in, and in the time it takes to push them, they'll walk out. So if you can try to bait like a bloat or something big like that in, yeah, it's your best bet. Alright, there should be a few more snow globes around here. Should be one right there. Oh yeah, the stand your ground, or hold your ground, whichever it is. I have to rush over here, and if you have a full team of 6, it requires 3 people. And then the more Zeds and the longer they stay in the zone, after a while it starts to drain the cash reward until you don't get rewarded at all. As you can see, I already lost, $5. It's annoying because if it was just like, oh, when there's big guys in here you start to lose money, I'd say that's fine. you know, it's big guys, I should be prioritizing them anyways. But you just start hemorrhaging money, especially on, you know, when you have a full group and you have like 160 spawns in a wave. And it's just tons of trash just flooding the area, and you're not able to, you know, clear it fast enough. Or you get people who decide that they don't want to participate and run off, but that's their own deal. Another snow globe. And some of these areas get pretty wild. Alright, we'll grab the UMP. I mean, you've already seen footage in this video of the UMP in action, but I just wanted to use it again simply because I do enjoy it, and it actually makes SWAT, I think, a lot more fun to play. Which is something I think SWAT struggled with. Oh, another snow globe. Because SWAT, if you use the Chris, which is just a vector, you would sit there, fire, and every gun was just a flat-out bullet hose. Yeah, you could clear trash with it, but anything big you just would have to hemorrhage bullets to kill. And I think this gun, while it strays away from some of the crowd control aspects that SWAT has, it allows you a little bit more leeway in your build diversity, because then you can say, okay, I don't want to be, you know, a flat controller of bigger guys, I just want to, you know, blast away at a few enemies here and there. And yeah, it has a smaller magazine size and lower ammo capacity than the P90. And in terms of fighting, you know, little guys like this, the damage difference isn't at all important. They die to a bullet from a P90, they die from a bullet from the UMP. But yeah, I just like it for bigger targets.
Glad you made it back. Don't bleed on anything. Bonjour. Come and get your tools of trade.
And I haven't tried jumping through this. I assume it just instantly kills me. I'm surprised I haven't run into someone online try to jump through the saw blades. And one thing I'll say about this map is, in the next area, it's really not good for multiple players because you get caught up on each other real easy, and there's no area to hold out. But that's something I've had a problem with this game in general, is the lack in possibilities for holding out. Killing Floor 1, you had areas that you could lock down pretty easily. I remember Suburbia was one map that you could lock down almost anywhere, and I loved that map. But there were others. There's one like Suburbia, where it was like almost like a waterfront kind of area with a couple different like shops and a warehouse, and you could hold out in a couple areas really, really well. And I really liked that, because yeah, sometimes you just wanted to have a bunch of people lock down a room, and it got kind of boring when you'd all just shoot into the same hallway. But that's kind of the point of a wave survival game. By removing that, it removes the need to weld doors. Because, like, why would I weld a door? I'm just gonna probably loop back here anyways. And then if I get caught on the other side, I have to unweld it, and that's time being wasted. Yeah, down here, it's these areas where you're up on like a little ledge up that you get caught so easy.
Don't bleed on anything.
There's another one. And all of these, this is interesting. So they're little cells, and enemies will spawn in them and break out.
Start to wrap things up, as they say.
It's a very, minor thing, but I think it's really cool. Another one. Yeah, I've already hit my 10. That's how easy it is to get all of the snow globes that you need.
Last chance. I have to power down the pod.
It does suck though when you're trying to do like the saw blade challenge, because you have such a limited amount of time to work with it that you sit there, scramble to get it, and if you don't, the game's shuffling you along saying, alright, if you didn't get it by the end of wave 4, try again next time. It's like, damn, I wanted to kind of do that right now, instead of having to quit and restart. I love how they made sure that, like in Killing Floor 1, for the Gorefasts, the Christmas skin is them as gingerbread men, and then they make Gore Fiends also gingerbread men. And then if you look at their heads when they get shot, it chunks off like someone's like eating a cookie. It's interesting too, like floats are kind of a pagan or druidic kind of solstice celebration look, like some sort of weird shaman.
That door's getting a lot of attention.
Sirens are ghosts, I guess. Only way like really fits like some like the Ghost of Christmas Past almost, or no, it'd be Ghost of Christmas Future because that was the one that was I think death. And then the cloakers, who I can never remember their actual name, are icy skeleton people. Hey, I think I'm gonna pull the 300 out of this one for once. Not that I'll need it, but... Skrakes are jacked reindeer. Husks are snowmen. I like the reindeer idea more than the old Christmas skin for them, because Skrakes used to be, way back when, they were like Jack Frost, so they were pure ice. But it didn't make a lot of sense to have them still have the normal, like, swinging a chainsaw or like shoving it into someone animation when it's just wielding an icicle. Why not? We'll just buy all the guns that I'll end up using. And chances are, by the end of the fight, by the time I get to the boss fight and do the boss fight, I will not use anything but the UMP.
We're almost out of time. Make your choices.
Yeah, and there's all these little things throughout the area. I saw one somewhere that said, no, it's further down. That says, what, elf rights now, elf rights forever. A lazy elf is a dead elf.
I'm about to
This, yeah, so dead. There is, I think, one in the area above threatening additional beatings if the elves aren't productive. I feel like the snow globes are a bit of a reference to the Krampus movie that came out. Granted, I don't know a lot about the actual, like, folklore behind Krampus, but I don't think the snow globes have much meaning to them past that, or, like, meaning to Krampus. Or it might just be that they wanted something Christmassy and were like, why not? I could be reading too much into this.
Careful! Bullseye! Someone keep it score!
But I do like this update. This was a good update. I'm trying to think what other changes there were. I know they buffed the M4 with the M203 undermount launcher by giving it more ammo, both for the assault rifle and grenade parts. Which is good because, I don't know, I like it. It's just nice to see it get a buff. They shrank... They reduced the scale for... Oh yeah, flesh pounds are nutcrackers. They reduced the scale for the crawlers by 10%. They upped the scale for the alpha crawlers by 10%. They upped the scale for alpha clots by 10%.
Fantastic work.
Which
Area remains unbreached.
I don't understand the reasoning.
Survived without a scratch.
Because if it was a matter of people couldn't discern them, I would have to ask, are you blind? Well, especially for crawlers. One is black, and one is bright white with glowing blue parts. Or even in the case of clots, one is pale fleshy color, and one is really pale with bright blue all over him. The differences are pretty pronounced, but
Come and get your tools of trade.
I don't know what people pay attention to in these fights, so maybe it's something I really notice and pick up on and something others don't pick up on. Bonus food for hitting quota. A hungry elf is a productive elf.
I have to power down the pod.
You know, this raises a question, though. Since we have all of these butchered elves everywhere, why? Did they rebel against Krampus and Krampus just killed them all? Did the Zeds show up at Krampus's and were like, yo, we're just gonna kill everybody? Did Krampus just go on a murderous rampage? Yeah, right here I had problems. This little walkway in front of me. It's something about, I think the mesh doesn't really let people stand side by side. So I was struggling to get by a teammate.
Let's call that your warm-up.
Which doesn't sound like a big deal, but you just get sandwiched in here and people die. And yeah, like, don't take these videos as, like, don't look too much into them in the sense of, like, oh, well, he's able to one-shot, you know, all these guys with the UMP. I'm also playing on normal difficulty. I typically don't play on hard or anything higher unless I'm playing Berserker,
They did not lay a claw on you.
simply because
I'm impressed.
the scaling, the other one, is so wonky. They'll be like, oh yeah, this guy hits you for like 4 damage on normal, and then a hard it's like, oh yeah, now he hits you for 8. Oh, there's another one. And then you go... coal mine, dead elf this year, 295. Like, you go up the difficulties and it just starts ramping up. Another snow globe. And it goes from like, oh, that's a reasonable like damage scaling, to kind of absurd, because they get bonus health, you get less money from them, they deal bonus damage, and there's more of them. So it just comes off as really unbalanced to me. I would understand more if, you know, it was an endless game mode,
About to shut the pod.
where, you know, they can get away with cranking the health up and dropping your money, because over time you're going to accrue a lot of money. But in this, like, yeah, I get a ton of cash. But, like, when I play harder difficulties, if I'm doing a weekly as a medic, Snow Globe, I'm usually broke. Even with healing people. Because like, suicidal and I think there's a challenge where it's hell on earth. I don't remember. I think it might just go up to suicidal difficulty for weeklies. But it's one of those things that I kind of draw issue with. And I don't see a real need. Like, there are some people who are like, yeah, I love to challenge myself with all that stuff. Oh, and you notice the money for the challenge is just hemorrhaging because I'm not there. It's kind of nice because otherwise I could just run it down to like 9 guys like now and then clear it and get a couple hundred. But it kind of sucks when I'm trying to like make my way there. And I lost track of my thoughts.
Nearly cleared this batch out. Nice work.
Talking about the money, the scaling. Yeah, I just find it a bit wonky. Like, there's a lot of things I'd like to change about the game. I'd like to add like a weapon attachment system, kind of like how zombies in Call of Duty has become, like in Black Ops 3, where you could sit there, if you use this gun enough, you can eventually put, you know, a suppressor on it and all this stuff. And if the devs really wanted to go all out, they could still make it so when you do that, it increases the cost. Like, oh, you want to put an extended mag on that? Well, that's going to cost you, you know, $100 more to buy this gun initially.
Bring up the trading controls and upgrade your gear.
The only issue then would be Santa's the man keeping elves down. It would be the question of what do you do about people who, let's say I'm playing with a couple friends, someone jacks the M4 with the M203 on it, just makes it incredibly expensive, tons of attachments, but I have mine bare bones. If I buy mine for $1,200, throw it down, can he pick it up and get a fully attached and decked out gun for him?
Maintain the area's security.
Because then there's a big issue, because you can just generally exploit the game quite easily. But I think in the end that would be, you'd have to save separate instances of every gun. But I don't think that'd be a big issue since you'd only have up to 6 instances of a firearm in the game at once. See, that's one of my problems with this map, is just you get flooded with guys super easy. And like flesh pounds and scrakes can just run rampant in this area. In any area, really, and it gets, at least to me, it gets annoying. Because, like, I play Nuked a lot, just as a way to get my daily challenges out of the way. And there it's nice because you have tons of open space to maneuver around and deal with enemies. While areas like this is just like, yeah, you can't even bullet hose these guys. Because, like, you'd have to have massive penetration to clear them. And if you did, your damage would get chunked so hard by going through a target to hit another target. I mean, that's pretty much, I believe, a perk for Gunslinger is reduced damage penalty for shooting through targets to other targets.
You need medical attention.
Krampus only. Violators will be persecuted with knives. Snow globe. Yeah, speaking of snow globes, there's like 4 in the boss room. Which is kind of wild to me, that there's so many. But like I had said before,
Don't bleed on anything.
the area, you end up clearing it, and then the game shoves you along and says move to the next area. And I don't know if you could actually hold out in the starting zone.
More
I've been
Zeds on the
tempted to
way.
try.
Start to wrap things
I
up, as
mean,
they say.
the day, not even a full day I've had playing this. Elf Rights now, Elf Rights forever. But not even a full day I've had this available, and I've already contemplated seeing if I can do just a starting room challenge. Or if the game's just gonna, at the end of the timer, just pick me up and move me to the next area and be like, no, you can't just sit around. Because you could do it as a berserker.
Keep the area secure.
The shovel isn't the best weapon, but you could try and do reasonably well. Yeah, like, I'm already kind of annoyed by how often these stand your ground events are. I was hoping they'd be like, hey, you know, maybe once every couple waves you'll get this, and they would implement it across the game. Because it's great for when you need money, like $400 right here. If you had people good enough to lock down the area, this would be, you know, an easy 400 for everyone. But typically, at least in my experience, you get people doing stupid stuff. You know, you get the field medic who's like, I'm gonna buy a katana, and then you're just like, you can't help with this. And then they run off and die. Or I've had people who, they step in the zone so we start the challenge, and then they instantly leave so we start hemorrhaging money. And we're just like, get back over here, we can't do this without you. This isn't a... It's not a, we need you because you're good, we need you because we have to have you kind of deal. Okay, now that we've almost cleared everyone. There. I hate the knockback on husks. If they gave us the husk flame cannon again for firebugs and added that knockback, I'd be pleased. And now we go to Krampus. And over there! Ah! No! There's another snow globe.
Bring up the trading controls and upgrade your gear.
I feel cheated. Let's see. Snow globe there in Krampus's throne.
The money. Now spend it.
There's snow globe there in the tree. There is a snow globe down here among all the scrolls. Should be at least one more. Yep, snow globe in between that cage.
Hurry up. Zeds are getting closer.
And I think that's it. I might be missing one. But I mean, that's still a pretty good number.
More Zeds inbound.
Alright, final boss. Krampus. Yeah, I think that's his back, is the final set of armor, but you don't have to shoot all of it. Krampus, where are you? There we go. I can't wait to see his non-Christmas skin. Because, like, I wonder what he looks like without the battle axes. Yeah, and then I love the ooze buddies. Just these wiggly little asshats who will do a ton of damage to you. Well, not even a ton, they're just annoying. I'll admit, I don't play online enough anymore. I got tired of people. Because, like, weekly challenges kind of drained me. Because I always get stuck with, you know, I'm a level 2 survivalist. Yeah, I know this says I should be level 15 or higher. I can carry my weight. 2, like, enemies in, they die every turn, or every wave, and you're just like, you can't carry your weight. And I just got so tired of that. And even playing, like, normal difficulty. Normal is easy. All you have to do is stay with the group, and stay with the group, play your role, and don't be stupid. Yet people still mess it up. And the sad part is I know people will be like, well, how do you know, or like, maybe they don't know what playing stupid is. Taking out a knife and jumping into enemies when you're not a berserker is stupid, yet I've seen it happen. Picking weapons you shouldn't. Like, if you're a support, you can take a medic shotgun, or even a medic pistol if you have the last slot. Anybody can take a medic pistol just to be a backup. But when you pick a certain perk and then you're like, yeah, I'm not going to take any weapons from it, that's stupid. You're also not leveling that perk. Flashbang! They're stunned. It's like, oh god, what do we do? Oh wow, I took his head off. Hey, this gives me ample time to check out what's in the bucket thing. That's human hands and arms. Interesting. Ooh, I finally got a Christmas item. But that is all for now. If you like this video, please make sure to hit the like button. If you are new, please make sure to hit the subscribe button. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.